Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Victoria Bennion, and the founder of the Victoria Bennion Podcast Booking Agency, and you're listening to The Best Guest. In this episode, we're joined by not just one, but three amazing guests: Ian Anderson Gray, Laura Doman, and Lisa Apolinsky, who are all co-authors of The Most Amazing Marketing Book Ever, which I'm also really grateful to have been a part of. The Most Amazing Marketing Book Ever is a comprehensive marketing guide and a must-read book that will help you achieve your goals and succeed in today's ever-changing marketplace. If you haven't heard of it already, where have you been? It's the brainchild of one of the world's leading marketing futurists and keynote speakers, Mark Schaefer, who said, "I challenged my community friends to create insights, not just rehash information you can find in a blog post somewhere, and they delivered." Whether you're a seasoned pro or a small business owner trying to establish your first marketing strategy, get out your highlight marker. You're going to find some new ideas here. Up next, we have Laura Doman. Laura wrote Chapter 11, Leveraging Your Videos and YouTube Channel. She's a former IT sales exec turned film, TV, and voice actor, coaching entrepreneurs to become more comfortable and effective on camera themselves. Hi, Laura. Welcome.
Nice to see you, and thank you for having me as a guest.
Oh, it's great that you could be here. Now, you're a former tech industry sales executive turned actress, voiceover artist, author, and public speaker, I believe. Can you talk a little bit about your journey?
Absolutely. I think from the very beginning, I've always bridged the creative and the corporate worlds. As a little kid, I loved entertaining. I was the one that was in every show I could possibly be at, but I was also the one watching the box office to see how many people we could bring in and trying to do the marketing. And I chose a corporate career, and I ended up in IT. But I found out that my true calling was in the sales and marketing, especially anytime you can get in front of people, speaking at conferences, one-on-one sales calls. So there was always a little bit of a razzle-dazzle to whatever I did. Well, I did that for a number of years, and I was traveling all over the US and even internationally. But when the time came to have a family, a little switch all of a sudden was just flipped, which I didn't expect, and I couldn't leave my baby. So I did a 180 and I stayed home for a while. And while I did that, I volunteered in everything you can imagine, but I always wanted to get back into the acting. And this time I wanted to do it full time. And it came about when my younger child, my daughter, who's a lot like me, really was begging to be in film, TV, on stage. And so I reluctantly made some inquiries. And of course, she got picked up by an agent. And as it turned out, the agent was also looking for some older people. So I dusted off my resume because I'd always done some commercials, film, TV, whatever on the side. And next thing you know, I'm off and running, and I haven't looked back since.
I know what you meant about the baby, just coming back to that, because after I had my daughter, I didn't go back to my job. I don't think you know how that's going to take you actually until you have the baby, do you? You can have all these plans and...
No. I always thought I'd have that big corner office somewhere telling everybody else what to do. And then I'm at the whims of this tiny little thing.
But it sounds like it worked out.
It worked out great, and I don't have any regrets about whatever I did. And the nice thing now is that I'm able to demonstrate to both my kids, and I have a son and a daughter, that it is possible to reinvent yourself later in life, to create a business after you've done something quite different, and that you can go after it with gusto and enthusiasm and make something of it.
That's a fantastic example. You have some great resources on your website and YouTube channel for helping busy executives with video, which I will link to in the show notes. But have you ever been nervous about being on camera?
You're asking me?
Yeah.
The only time I've really been nervous is when I'm worried, oh my gosh, is my hair just right? Do I have too much, too little makeup on? Am I too old to be doing this? That kind of thing. Or, oh my gosh, my nose is so big. Yeah. And you know what happens when you hit around 30, at least for me? I didn't care quite so much. And the older I got, the less I worried about such things. So now it's like, hey, take it or leave it. This is what you got.
I like that. That's brilliant. Can you share a couple of your top tips for being more comfortable and effective on camera?
Oh, I'll be happy to. The first thing you want to do is to get comfortable in your body. Because if you're all tight and tense, it's going to show in your face and in your voice. So here are a couple quick, easy things that you can do. First of all, just loosen up your head. Move it around in slow circles in one way or the other. Raise your eyebrows real high and then scrunch down. Make funny faces. They're not going to stick, despite what your mother said, but it will open you up. So big smiles like a cartoon face, and then a big frowny, pouty one. You can even do the little dog trick. I mean, I know it's going to look weird, so maybe this will get you more viewers. But besides just moving your tongue around, pant like a dog. Let that tongue hang out. Try to talk like that, because then you talk like that, and then you speak normally. It becomes a little more clear. For the whole body, raise your shoulders up real tight so you lose your neck, and then drop them down a few times, up and down, and it makes a difference. Breathe in. A simple breath is to take 4 breaths in, hold it for about 4 to 6 breaths, and exhale twice as long, about 8 counts. And all of a sudden, you just feel a lot more comfy. Now, if you're also athletic, I also recommend doing anything like, not right before you go on camera, but maybe about an hour beforehand, some cardio. Maybe you want to run, maybe you want to do some little jogging, push-ups, sit-ups, whatever it is to get the body moving so that you can feel comfortable about it and then just forget it.
You're one of the co-authors of The Most Amazing Marketing Book Ever by Mark Schaefer and Friends, and you wrote the chapter Leveraging Your Videos and YouTube Channel. How have you found being part of a collaborative book project?
Oh, it has been wonderful. I mean, I always wanted to be an author, and I've penned some articles and published little things here and there. I love the idea of doing my part in a marketing book. First of all, it is a collaborative effort with some amazing people in all different specialties all around the world. And so we're constantly learning from one another. And these are genuinely very giving, very generous people. And so to be invited, to be allowed to speak on what I find to be so important and having that valued as a contribution, well, it means the world. And so this whole thing has been an amazing journey. It really has.
Now, what can readers expect from your chapter?
Well, we are each asked to give 10 tips. And so I'm covering 2 things, one, videos, and then YouTube. So I did the math and I gave 5 of each. And I like to start off with the video, because if you don't have the content, people are not going to watch. And videos are extremely important. Right now, 80% of content marketing is in the form of video. I mean, we see it on social media, but every company that's trying to get its message across needs to be able to do so quickly, fairly easily for the audience to grasp and to be able to take with them and to pay attention to, because attention spans have just shrunk down to even smaller than this. I've even heard it is less than 0.3 of a second. People want to just scroll past and look for something that catches their eye. So I focus, first of all, on delivery techniques. So let's say you're all relaxed, you're all in your body, you're ready to go. The number 1 rule is talk to one person. Just pretend the camera is your friend. And if it helps, put a picture of your friend up there, or your spouse, or your mother, whatever does the trick. And make it very authentic, human, personal, conversational. I mean, there's a lot of AI out there, but right now, AI hasn't and it may not replicate the human connection. And that's what you want to get across. Because when people first find your video, that's when it's going to grab them. Now, of course, we could talk about hooks and all that, but I'm talking about the video itself. And then if you're going to be speaking to camera, there are a few other things that you want to know. Besides just talking to one person and being totally relaxed in your body, understand the concept of a frame. What is the frame? Well, that is what you're appearing in a picture frame. So, for example, right here, and I don't know if who's watching this and who's listening, but my frame might only be a few feet across, maybe a few feet high. So I have to know that I can't move too much. And to me, a little movement could be huge off screen. Next thing you know, I'm disappearing from view. I also have to realize that whatever is small appears huge. So I do want to try to stay as still as possible. which is not easy for me because I am the Energizer Bunny and I move a mile a minute. But that doesn't mean you want to be stiff as a board. But you don't want to go wild with hand movements because it could be distracting. And so for those who might be watching this, if I'm talking with my hands and I'm moving around, you're not going to watch me. You're going to say, well, what the heck is she doing with her hands? And there's something I'm missing. Instead, keep it rather contained and be aware that when it's projected on a bigger screen, every little thing is going to look larger. So there are a few tips just to get started. Now, as far as the YouTube side, I'll talk just a little bit about that. YouTube is a search engine. The biggest thing I can tell you is it's owned by Google, and it is the #2 search engine right after Google. And so you want to make your videos searchable, especially now that Google is allowing shorts to be found in its search criteria. So you're going to want to know something about SEO. You're going to want to do keywording. You're going to want to have the right kind of title. And my chapter goes into a little bit more about all that.
That's also valuable. Can't wait to read your chapter and take notes.
Well, thank you.
Where can listeners go to connect with you, Laura?
Well, please, first of all, come to my website. It's lauradoman.com. You'll see everything I'm about. That would be sources of my video. I've got extensive blogs about it. I do my voiceover stuff. My demos are there as well as my on-camera reel. But I would love for you to come to my YouTube channel. It's easy to find. Just youtube.com/@ the little @ my name, Laura Doman. And there's a whole bunch of stuff for you there. I have a whole series of videos that help non-actors, business people, entrepreneurs become more comfortable and effective on camera themselves. Each one's only a few minutes long, covers a topic. But if that's going to be too much, no problem. I got you in shorts. I have something that's 60 seconds or less on each little minutia. Just something to walk away with. And if you're looking for some entertainment, I've got some fun shorts up there as well. You know, little things moms say when you don't think they're really listening to you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thank you so much for listening to the Best Guest podcast today. I'll talk to you again in the next episode.